North American LCS Spring Split, and in their first win of the week, I'm joined by Balls and Meteos from Cloud9. How's it feel to get back with a win?
It feels pretty good. You know, we lost our last game last week, so we were kind of sad, but we got to win this week, so it's good.
Yeah, and Balls, actually, could you talk to me a bit about maybe what the team mindset was like after losing to Dignitas, which is a big surprise for everyone?
After losing to Dignitas, we were like, wow, what happened? How did we lose to Dignitas? And I think they played really well against us. I got caught off guard by the gank that Crumbs did to me early game, and yeah, it just threw me off.
Let's actually get into this game a little bit. You brought back Rumble for the first time in a while. Is that ever going to stop, in your opinion?
Probably not. Rumble's like my favorite champ, and I'm just going to whip him out whenever I can. And
speaking of champion diversity here in Meteos, I think last year you guys may have been a little criticized for sticking to really small champion pools, and you're doing it with Elise and Vi in this so far this season. Do you see that as a weakness?
I don't really see it as a weakness because I've been picking the champions I feel like are the best, and if people will let me get Elise every game, I'll probably play it because she's like my favorite champ also, and I think she's really good. But we do have a lot of stuff prepared if we don't get the champions that we want.
Right.
So we're not necessarily limited to these champions, but we just feel they're the best, so we're going to go with them.
Yeah, and this game actually went pretty well for you guys. Once you got a lead, there was actually a sneak attack, which we have a clip we're going to be able to bring up right here, that Curse planned on you guys but didn't quite work. Walk me through your guys' reaction when this initiation happened to you.
Okay, so we actually thought they were in the bush. Hai said to go check the bush, but they came out a little bit earlier than we thought. We didn't expect them to flash out of the bush at us. So it caught us a little off guard, but we somewhat expected it, and we figured if they were going to commit that hard to just initiate, we'd have enough to win the fight.
And Balls, you were just kind of waiting in the wings there with an equalizer. Is that a perfect fight with Rumble?
Yeah, whenever like they go on us, it's like just my time to shine, pretty much.
Putting down the equalizer. Something that's interesting is last year you guys had total domination of the North American scene, 25-3, and then you faltered a little bit on the world stage. Do you have a what's your mindset now coming into this year?
I think we got a little bit complacent last year because if I go back and watch our games, I don't actually think we were that good. I think what we did worked, kind of, but I don't think we were doing all the right things all the time. And so even this year, I don't think we're as good as we can be, and we still have a lot to work on and practice and improve and hopefully be able to compete against the Koreans at some point.
So would you actually say your focus would be more on like the SKT and the teams in Korea, or is it still focused on North America?
I guess it's kind of both. If we play well enough to be on the level of SKT, we'll probably be good enough to beat teams in NA too.
And final question for you guys here. Who do you actually see as your biggest threat in North America coming through the rest of the season?
Biggest threat is probably TSM.
Yeah, it's got to be TSM.
Because you guys did beat them in the first game. Still TSM.
Yeah. They're really good.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the interview, guys. Congratulations on your victory. And for now, we're going to send it back across the studio to Brim Cope.
Thank you very much, Ja. It is time for our final NA LCS game of the day. It's Team Dignitas versus Counter Logic Gaming. And Kobe, everyone wants to see if Dig can keep the momentum going and repeat the hot streak they had in the 2013 Spring Split.
Yeah, in the interview that Skara gave, part of the credit, he rightly so gave it to Cruiser. Because
absolutely.
Cruiser, the new top laner, he's flown under the radar, but he's helped his team get 3 wins as Dr. Mundo. He's been a pretty solid guy up there.
And the pressure is on for CLG, who looked unimpressive against TSM and is so far 2-3 on the split.
CLG definitely need to get a win to break even and avoid digging themselves into sort of a deeper hole until they await the return of Dexter, who's supposed to just save them all. In the mid lane, Hotshot has struggled to control his lane, and most recently as that Ziggs in the brutal beating that he got from TSM, Oddwin, and Bjergsen showed no mercy.
And while his results on the Rift have been mixed, his team's enthusiasm is still holding steady.
This was supposed to be our split to really show out our new roster, and it didn't happen. Dexter had problems with immigration. He actually got sent back to Germany after flying all the way to the US. What are we gonna do? I was listing out some really great players. We were going through so many names, and it was Zolif that actually sat down and was like, why don't you play?
Hotshot's really great in a lot of areas. His mechanics are pretty good. He understands his weaknesses and his strengths really well, and he's really open.
He's like, no, I think it'd be more comfortable for us if you played. And that's how it happened.
It's really an exhilarating feeling in a sense because it's like, damn, I got to play with Hotshot again on the team. And he's someone that I've been looking up to, and it brings back memories from like the very first split of just playing with him. But at the same time, it's definitely different because he's not playing top lane anymore, he's playing mid lane.
He's not a mid player, he's a top player. Now our mid player is in our jungle, and our mid player also got changed to the shot calling position. So our entire team just got flipped upside down.
And the big news of the day is Hotshot GG. He's back, and he's actually playing mid lane.
This is top secret, but at one point, Link was supposed to go in the jungle. I've seen him play in solo queue, and he plays like abnormally well. He plays like Meteos.
I was confident that I could play jungle really well, so I gave Hotshot the option. You can go anywhere you want. You can go top, mid lane, or jungle, and me and Nian will fill the roles.
It was kind of natural because I was spamming mid and solo queue to just go mid. I got my butt handed to me like 10 games straight.
Hotshot GG in the middle lane has a fairly small champion pool, so they might dump 3 bans into Hotshot.
I couldn't, broaden my champion pool that much in 2 weeks. If they target bans on me, then I gotta let my team carry.
He's been like playing like 12 hours a day. He's been doing 1v1s with me, and he put in the effort of an LCS player.
Ian's going to be bought into little pieces. One member alive for CLG, and that is Hotshot. CLG going to take down the Nexus, going to pick up their win. And Hotshot GG, well played. 1-0 as the mid laner for Counter Logic Gaming. He's likely to go down 4-0 for CLG.
Curse never really responded. I mean, there's all smiles from Hotshot. He was 0-0-4.
Going 2-2 was like a huge, pleasant surprise to me. I was like, damn, we went even? Like, that's awesome.
It was nice being back in the chair and playing again. There were some really nice feelings and some, kind of shaky, nervous, the kind of exhilarating feelings you get when you play League of Legends.
He played really well for just coming back into competitive play. So it's really nice to see him back.
And CLG's hopes that this all goes very well because they still have a change-up coming in with Dexter when he comes back. It's going to be all a revamp again.
Seems like the team is always switching in new players, though. So by this time, they have to have some sort of routine to quickly update somebody. This is how we do things. He's a shot caller. This is how we play.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see what the lineups look like right now. On the blue side, it's Dignitas. In the top lane is Cruiser, Crumbs in the jungle, Skara in the mid lane, I'm a Cutie Pie at 80 carry, and Kiwi Kid on support.
And on the red side, it's CLG. Up top is Nian. Link is in the jungle. Hotshot GG mid, double lift on 80 carry, and supporting is Afromoo.
So a game that we saw CLG being focused in, obviously their last one, all the bans towards Hotshot. He was given Ziggs, and then they focused him even more.
Yeah,
they're going to do it again.
Like, okay, we're glad you guys are happy, you're having fun with Hotshot back, but we're going to go straight at Hotshot and try and expose your weakness for what it is. Yep. TSM, pretty much the best example of that.
There's been kind of like 2 playstyles teams are using as well when they focus that, but they both go to Hotshot. It's either give him a champion like Cassiopeia and let the lane go, let your lane win, or they focus him like that. So he's really got his work cut out for him.
But look at him. His spirits are not down. You know, he's, like Link said, he's putting in the effort. 12 hours a day, practicing.
He's tired.
1v1s, scrims, everything.
Practicing so hard. He's bringing a little bit of tiredness, but he is ready and pumped with the rest of the team. You heard them, and that was interesting to me. I know the decision would have been there, but it was the team that said, we would actually feel comfortable if it was you when the option was given.
Yeah, Double Lift has confidence in Hotshot. Actually, Double Lift and a lot of these guys used to look up to Hotshot. He was really one of the first streamers, the one that made streaming League of Legends really popular before Season 1 and in Season 1.
Yeah.
So they've kind of, maybe they have blinders on and they're like, oh, yes, Hotshot will save us.
Yep.
But it sort of worked out.
Well, they need a little saving right now because Dignitas, as we said, firing on all cylinders is pretty much our title of the day coming into this second day of the LCS. And
Let's talk about Kiwi Kid, that turret destruction. He's pretty much a one-man demolition squad. Their coach,
everything's a turret.
Their coach and all their teammates said, just look at everything as turrets. The minions are moving turrets. The champions are also moving turrets that sometimes throw spells at you. But you just kill them all anyway.
Do you think he's going to be able to get excited this game, though?
I don't think they're going to give him Jinx.
No.
Like, the adaptations that you need to make against Dig now are not just focused on Skara. You can drop a Jinx ban. maybe even something at Kiwi Kid, who's starting to have a really big impact with that support.
Yeah.
Moby Boots on Annie, trying to make plays all over the map. He's created a lot of havoc that's Dignitas have thrived on.
Picks and bans have been quite interesting today. Hotshot GG won't get the LB. That was figured.
All right, so the old Hotshot bans coming in. Probably LeBlanc and Nidalee are the top 2 for the Hotshot bans. The rest of them, people have pretty much been letting through.
Casting going out. Could see the, yep. LNK. Kale next, possibly towards Hotshot. In the end, thinking for the team, receiving all the information. See Doublelift and Cutie there. They are about to super head-to-head. We actually saw Dignitas doing the 2v1. Remember that. They were doing the lane swap.
They 2v1 right now. It might be 1 versus 1 because Kiwi's asleep. It's going to be all up to Cutie Pie.
That's true. Kiwi Kid actually takes this time. It's like the relaxed time. We saw him doing this the other day.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do anything. He's last in pick, so it's fine.
They'll wake him up in time. Don't worry about it.
Oh, wow. So CLG actually takes the Kale away from Skara. Somebody that Skara really didn't focus too much, even when he had to. He would go to a different champion because he didn't like his Kale play
We're
personally.
missing the Gragas ban, though. We've got all these mid lane bans
well, there's
here.
Ziggs. They're trying to force it now.
Where's the Gragas ban? If you're looking at all these mid lane bans here, CLG,
6 mids.
They're not first pick. They can't take it away.
6 mids. They took.
You're putting yourself out there again.
They banned Thresh last time.
What could be Jinx there? I just
mids.
caught
Double or nothing.
I
6
prepped
mids.
for that Jinx one. Oh, it is Gragas.
Yeah.
All right.
I get my money back. But it's still Thresh first pick now because he was not the 6th man.
Yeah. I mean, Kiwi Kid had a decent Thresh game. There's definitely a couple mechanical things that he still needs to work out. And he's also played really well on Annie. So, interesting little pick right there. But they do prep and escape for Jinx. If they do want to lock that in again for QPie, the immobility of Jinx is pretty much her only weakness.
See with the first picks coming in, you always have to think a team is going to consider, yeah, they'll pick up Mundo and Elise. So I figured Dignitas knew that was going to happen, and they say Draven Renekton.
Yeah, maybe he got inspired there by the last game from Sneaky, but man, Thresh Draven is a classic lane.
And he has his Jinx, so very inspired maybe.
Exactly, classic lane right here. Both of these champions want to bully the lane early and shove it in because Draven wants to stack up his Adoration and Thresh wants to collect all the souls so that he scales really well into late game. So both of them are looking to go forward really quickly.
See if they can get it down. It really plays into how they have been playing. Very aggressive, kill heavy. Kiwi Kid and Cutie Pie really making that Kiwi Pie composition work recently.
Though they did go with a 2 vs 1 swap before, I don't think they'll pull it again this time because Draven and Thresh, not the tower destruction crew that Jinx
You're
is.
a killer crew.
Exactly. And bringing Renekton up into the top is just all around solid pick against that Mundo.
Hotshot, please be a mid lane Alley. But we do have Alley and Vayne. That seems like a taster choice combo from back in the day. Alley is somebody who keep Vayne safe.
This duo is really exciting because Doublelist's favorite champion and Afromoo's favorite champion here. Alistar, Afromoo loves this champion. It's just such a strong sort of bodyguard type champion that works really well with Vayne.
Well, nobody in the Twitter question said their answers that they wanted to see an Alistar, but we're going to see an Alistar here, and it is going to be picked up by CLG.
No mention of Fiddlesticks.
The other side,
Karthus.
Fiddlesticks. Well, we've seen the Karthus, but the Fiddlesticks nicely coming in here. I love that there's so much variation in the first 2 weeks of LCS. An amazing amount of champions being used.
It's pretty funny that just in the last interview where we were asking Snoopy, oh, what's your champion pool look like? You know, how come you were forced onto this Mundo that you haven't played in so long? It's like, yeah, well, I play champions that don't really work right now, like Fiddlesticks. Boom, Jungle Fiddlesticks coming out here.
He says, like, oh, it doesn't work right now?
Crumbs wants to use that Jungle Fiddlesticks. Let's see. Hey, that was one of the tweets. And this is the player that I thought would bring it, but hasn't pulled the trigger yet. He's mouthed over it a couple times. Don't get excited.
Well, he doesn't have any time left. Xerath.
Okay.
Xerath getting locked in. We have an Alistar, a Xerath, a Vayne, and a Karthus with a Fiddlesticks as well coming into this game. There's going to be so much to watch. Our last game of the day, it will be pleasing.
Now, there's so many cool things about Xerath. One of them is that he can actually, he's one of the few champions that benefits a lot from getting a scrying orb, the blue trinket. So we
saw one in Challenger yesterday.
We're seeing all these new things. I'm even hoping it'll go one further because he can pop that and use his long range to kill people even before they get inside the Fog of War. It's something like Nocturne would use as well. You can use a scrying orb to find somebody in the Fog of War and use your long range ultimate to get over there. But that's a long shot. Definitely getting ahead of ourselves here.
Indeed, it is a long shot. We're going to see if he can use that to get some kills. The champions are locked in, so let's take a peek at who you think will take the win. According to LOLesports.com, 58% of you think Dignitas are going to make it 5 in a row.
The CLG fans have faith in Hotshot.
Absolutely. There's Cruiser. We talked about him a little bit. He hasn't hugely been an impact for the team, but he always is participating, has good kills, good movement to keep the team just one step ahead.
And I'm glad you pointed him out because he's had the biggest impact on Mundo. But now, Nien took away Mundo very early in that champ select. We kind of glossed over that, but they used their early pick to grab that Mundo away from Cruiser, force him onto something that has to play more aggressive in the early game. Going Renekton means if you don't win that early game, then something's going to be wrong. Something's going to be terribly wrong.
And we've
for the
seen
late
most
game.
Renektons go on that Tiamat build as well, so if they go early and lose, they're not going to be any sort of tanky for the late game. Our final match here in Week 2, Dignitas versus CLG. Can Dig keep this streak going?
Okay, coin start from Aframu. I have to just, my gut feeling is we're looking for a 2-versus-1 swap because, man, it would be dangerous to go with a coin versus and a Vayne in your lane, 2-versus-2. They may just have so much confidence, though. This lane, Doublelift and Aframu, have been very outspoken about how much confidence they have in laning.
Yeah, never yell at each other.
Even with combos like this, like Vayne and Alistar. Just without starting a Dorans, though, that is a lot of, early dueling power that's going to be in the favor of Dignitas.
So no sweepers on the supports coming in through this game. And again, this line of scrimmage being set up always.
They're lining up bottom here. This is.
Yeah.
I want to keep an eye on the Doublelift Aframu early and see how they pull this off, because if they do get real far behind in CS, we've seen how Draven snowballs so well. I think that jungle pressure is going to be a huge thing in this bottom lane. So we'll have to keep an eye on the junglers as well. Maybe they'll both start topside and make their early moves down bottom. Link has spent a disproportionate amount of time in the bottom lane as opposed to the others. A lot of times just waiting in the bush. On Elise, he's going to have to take action, though, and get them rolling early.
Ooh, Doublelift heading towards the top side here.
There's the swap-a-roni.
Yeah, it looks like they are going to get the swap. Draven versus Vayne, that's a pretty painful lane if they're able to get a good catch onto Doublelift, so they're playing it safe.
That's why I was kind of boggled by the start there. You're starting coin on a Vayne Alistar lane. Dangerous.
I think fans and CLG alike enjoy this Doublelift start on Vayne. We're going to see him try to carry into the late game.
He still has a smite. He didn't smite early, though,
right.
So he should be able to get it.
Getting a bit of that. Yes.
All right.
I was going to say he gets the resources in. Blue buff now onto Fiddlesticks, who does go for the Doran's Ring start.
I mean, if you're CLG, you have to try that strategy. It works.
If you break
once.
Fiddle.
Aframu went in there and auto attack stole a blue buff. They won a game off of that. So even if the chance is low here, might as well try it again.
Yeah.
Crumbs might smite early like Dominate did in that game. Kiwi Kid wants to answer.
Kiwi Kid's really, he actually went Flay first as well. He wanted the extra damage.
What
He
in
said,
the-
I've seen this before. Monkey see, monkey do.
Link instant flash right
He has
there.
the chance, though.
He
The smite is
insta-flashed.
coming up. Oh, he'll have it in time. Okay. It was down for a second.
The 2-versus-2, they're losing it, though.
It is. Lincoln pushed out of this one. He's completely out of mana. Nien flashing over the wall. Amazing play by Day.
And it's at half-life. They can actually finish this one off because Link is already backed off. He's got smite, but no vision in there.
Crumbs just
And no
waddles
flash.
over from the other side of the map. They're going to get another one.
All right, refresh that blue on Fiddle. Amazing start here. One of the weaknesses
Get outta here.
of
Get
Fiddle
outta here.
Jungle. They're going to have to Mad Life that sucker. Make him change targets.
I don't know if they can have it. It's good lifesteal going back onto Crumbs through that drain. Kiwi Kid is going back. They're
doing
they're
it pretty
getting
well.
the micro on this damage quite well. Little bit of movement coming in. That's only going to be maybe a ward placed by Hotshot, but I think this is going to be a level 1 Dragon.
The Dragon has lost its mind. It knows no Dignitas member to attack. They finally do take it out, but Cruiser All right, let's give them their moment here. Dragon taking the early Dragon, not worth that much. Cruiser has sacrificed minion waves at the turret, though.
Yeah, we have to look at those CS leads now. 20 CS to the 5 of Draven. That money is there, but it could be hard for them to come back if anything goes wrong.
And they're actually even sending more units top, more champions, excuse me. Link is going up there to help out with the turret taking. And Elise, one of the best junglers at taking turrets. I've said so many times, but the ranged champion form, she can use it when there's a champion there to defend it. And if there's no champion to defend it, she just pops Spider, gains that attack speed reset and attack speed buff from the Skittering Frenzy to take down the top turret. That has the extra 20 minus champion damage early here.
So CLG still trying to get the benefit out of the 2v1 push here. They're going very hard on it. It's played in favor of Dignitas as they were able to kind of sneak in and grab the blue buff away, but it looks like they do grab the top turret. And that map pressure, when Dignitas 2v1 swapped, they said that pressure is worth the swap.
Look at Crumbs here, though. He's hanging out on the bottom side jungle, and he's recalling by the Wraith, white. So he's not actually going to go for anything down bottom.
And he's going to go away. Yeah, he's just being a little bit of a nuisance to Link. He knows he gave him a hard time before, and the fact that Link is showing himself in top lane makes it safe.
So he recalls because secondary turrets do not have that same champion damage reduction. They need to get their defenses here.
This is greatly working in CLG's favor right now. Even if you're going to have the fear and the silences, but there's not much to push them off this turret.
Exactly. As we said, Jungle Elise really good at tower pressuring. Crumbs is on one of the few other ranged junglers, though, so Fiddlesticks can actually do a lot to help out Cruiser here.
Good bit of clear there. Really not drawing any aggression from the other lanes. We don't have Skara on 6, so this is a perfect time for CLG to be in dangerous positions.
And Nien is going to have to fend for himself down by that bottom turret. Going teleport with the Mundo, though, does mean that he can take some harass early to get extra minion waves cleared out, and then teleport back into lane to try and save the turrets.
Dig gets the turret in the bottom lane, and this 2v1 swap has really taken a lot of focus off of Hotshot, and I think that's going to be helping out.
Yeah, it's definitely helping Hotshot because he's crumbled under those early jungle ganks. With the 2v1 swaps, junglers on the map the whole time.
Yeah.
So he's free to play the Xerath as he does in solo queue, which is exactly, well, it's pretty much all he knows since he's only had 2 weeks of competitive practice.
Let's see what that 2 weeks poses for him. No backs in that mid lane just yet as they sit on Dorans.
Crumb's trying to lifesteal off the cannon minion there, and Cruiser says no.
Level 6 for Skara. I thought he might be backing, but there's no low health bars really anywhere around except for his.
So being at half versus a post-level 6 Xerath is a dangerous, dangerous proposition. Yeah. Everyone's talking about how inexperienced Hotshot is with this mid lane competitive. He's had plenty of solo queue on Xerath, though. After LeBlanc, that's the champion he moved right over to. So this is at least a champion he's mechanically proficient on, and something that you always have to worry about the long-range burst.
Really excited to see once they get out of somewhat of this laning phase that's been pushed back to the second-tier turret, how the AoE composition works here from Crumbs on Crowstorm, Karthus coming in with Scar's Defile. Could be pretty big if they get the right ultimates.
Yeah. Plus Box. Nice AoE there.
Yeah, you got Box too.
Even Draven. I'm a Cutie Pie can do his part as well.
And you got Dominus just in the whole bit.
There you go.
Be nice for him.
Call them all out there.
So Dignitas just biding their time until they can get that. We haven't seen any aggression coming from this Cutie Pie Kiwi Kid lane, and they do now have a chance to match up against Doublelift. We may see some kind of Requiem strategy to try and get a kill.
Yeah, it is surprising how low CS Cutie Pie is. Maybe this visualize everything as a turret has caused him to miss a few last hits there, because they were 2v1 versus a Mundo the whole time, and I don't really see a reason for missing them unless they were just trying to push it so fast that they missed some last hits.
See what they can do in this bottom lane. Completely freezing it. Nice stand aside double farm. Scar is going up for the Rod of Ages, so it'll take him a while to get where he wants.
Oh, the Dragon. They did Dragon
level 1.
They did Dragon level 1. That's why, because they took a lot of time. You know, it was a successful blue invade by them, But since they're getting all of these objectives, the blue buff and the dragon, that's where the CS difference comes from. I got your back, Kiwi Pie. You guys didn't do so bad.
It was about 16-5 when they broke back into the lane, so he's kind of keeping it around there. They were kind of pushed out of that top lane very hard.
There, but there's a big wave here.
Ooh, that's the flash and the headbutt back, but they get a good push. Kiwi Kid comes in from the backside, and this is the Requiem strategy, trying to get the kill down, but they're able to turn it back. No, Kiwi Kid lives in this one. Crumbs gets the kill. The first blood going over to him. Now Cutie Pie gets a kill, but Nien turns it back around. It's 2v1 on Nien. Will he be able to get one more kill with the ultimate going off? It's not going to be enough. The double kill for Cutie Pie.
Adoration stacks cashing in there. Global damage coming in. Not only do we have the Requiem, but also the teleport from Mundo. So they try and use this giant minion wave here to do extra damage, but Crumbs was in position for the counter gank. And here come both globals, teleport and Requiem. Nien, though, not having actually as big of an impact as the Requiem did. The Requiem, even though Scar didn't join, did more damage than Nien did, even having to join the fight himself. And since Kiwi Kid was able to do such a good job staying alive at low health till the very end, they are able to get another kill.
And that, the kills, where they went onto Nien, so good. Oh, Nien gets stand aside. One more axe to the back.
Oh my goodness, I'm a Cutie Pie is so bloodthirsty. He almost wanted to get another one.
Oh, we see the Mundo grab. It's not really the one you want. They back off for now. That
Crumbs found another target.
Oh my word, Aphromoo, not very tanky just yet. And he still actually isn't building any tank. Doesn't like to go for the Sightstone right away.
Yeah, that's a pretty squishy Alistar. But he's enough to make Dignitas think twice about this dragon because it's so early in the game here. Hotshot gets caught out.
Oh, he tries to throw down the ulti, but it's a little too late. He knew he was going down, so you want to get the most damage out that you can, and Nien was already in there in the miscommunication. He just came back up from being dead.
Dignitas CLG were trying to buy time for Link to get in the area because Elise is amazing at dragon stealing, but he got a little bit too close there with their the lack of mobility there definitely hurting him.
CLG kind of outplaying themselves there, getting themselves in a bad position. 6-1 already 11 minutes into the game and a 4,000 gold lead. Wow.
It's pretty big. Wow, interesting little try and steal on the white there. The rewards are big for that white.
Yeah.
He tried.
See what Link can produce. Probably going to get some wards down, keep the team safe. They got to kind of rally back up, get their vision back before they can make any moves because Dignitas is still waiting for that next step to be wrong. CLG's done it twice now.
They definitely need to get more ward coverage bottom side if that's where they're going to have double lift farming because Dignitas and every other team in North America know that double lift is the large carry that CLG count on, and they will focus their resources down there as we saw the globals and everything coming in. So if they want him to farm safely, they're going to need some defensive ward coverage in that area since the turret's already gone.
So with the way that CLG pushed in this top lane, making sure we're not engaging, it doesn't hurt them, obviously. It gives them money, but without being enough level or scaled into the game, it's almost like they can't go past that, and they've now hit a wall.
Not much of a wall there. I mean, the top lane being pushed so far means that they can see Renekton at all times, and there's no teleport there. So what it kind of does is keep Cruiser on that area, and so they then can use their 5 men to do sort of a power play somewhere else. They just have to not go back to that lane because Cruiser's sort of freezing it.
Right, that's already the map control.
Yeah, they need to redirect their resources somewhere else and answer with maybe mid-turret push or hard bottom control.
See if they can grab that control. Knowing that Cruiser is up top will be helpful. He's someone we definitely pointed out as an impact player for Dignitas. And with a 4K lead, really every lane is doing quite well for Dignitas. 111 to 104, so not too much of a discrepancy in mid, but Scar has found 4 kills without really 4 assists, I should say, without having to roam too much.
It's exactly how Karthus wants to play. Farm my lane, pick up some extra money with my Requiem. Assists are fine. If they're not kills, it doesn't really matter. All right, that's a big bully right there. A Draven, after 3 kills and a red buff, he's going to be able to just push double lift around right now. And Crumbs deciding to try and camp this area.
Crowstorm maybe?
be a dangerous dive because Afromu can interrupt Crumbs, so his drain won't actually be able to help him sustain under the turret.
Backing off in the top lane, a little bit of a tussle back and forth as Scar makes himself present.
Wants to go for it so bad.
They could have got it on that minion. Would have got him. The turret goes down though. They grab 2-1 in favor of themselves. And it is going to be pretty much mirrored on either side of the map now with that top and bottom turret being down. If they can grab it, the gold lead stretches that much more. Right now they're doing a great job at guarding this second tier turret and top.
So Dig have been able to keep up the secondary turret because, you know, Carthage does have very safe long range wave clear. They lost the blue buff, but Dignitas answered on the other side, and Dignitas got the turret.
Looks like they might get another turret unless Afromu can say anything about it.
Crumbs
he does finally have his sight
really
stone
wants
though.
to dive a turret here.
Well, he's been doing a great job.
Great ward.
They have to use the Fog of War as pretty much their initiation zone. Hot shot off to the side. He has to be careful. They're in great positions to be picked out here.
Well, Dignitas are in great positions to just continue the turret damage here. As you can see, PewDiePie got a large chunk of damage, even though Hotshot was on the outside, Afromu was on under the turret. He had the confidence that Hotshot would be so squishy if he came in, Afromu could actually knock him back. They got a large chunk out of that mid turret, and they're looking to continue the pressure here.
Yeah. Let's see how this could play in favor of CLG here. You can still take down a Draven pretty easily in a fight, which means those 3 kills, that damage is taken out. You still have a Vayne, so there's that possibility.
So the thing is with Draven, you have to burst him down because he's already got that Bloodthirster.
Yeah.
His lifesteal is insane, even mid-game, since he got his Adoration stacked in and he got that extra boost of money. So they're going to have some good bursts. It's going to probably be up to Hotshot and Link to kill him.
Quick hit.
Hotshot is actually a really good prospects of killing PewDiePie from a long range, or at least keeping him in place for Link to go for the assassination.
Doublelift is 138 to 114 in that lane, so he's kept himself up in farm in a good mental state as well to carry into the late game. His Bloodthirster charged up, that'll be quite helpful, but it looks like they won't get it back just yet. Seeing Dig, Cruiser, and Crumbs are waiting for a little bit of a rotation here, but I don't think Hotshot.
Neither Cruiser or
be
Crumbs have sweepers, so they are playing a bit of a dangerous game. They do not know for certain that they're not standing on wards. Just so happens that they aren't.
Oh, but they know what's happening, and if you play it beforehand, Link has to really just get his head around this one, figures out what's going on.
Ooh. Yeah, very quick reactions there from Link, though. He is able to get it out with the flash, and he instantly turns to spider form too, just in case he had to repel.
Afromu going quite hard. Kiwi Kid takes quite a bit of damage. PewDiePie's there. A few more shots on the double lift. The Requiem comes down 100 HP, and it's going to be the kill. Stand aside is going to be coming up in a few seconds for him. He throws down the rush, but it's not going to be enough to get in range.
Yeah, Afromu able to flash away, but he's still chasing.
He is actually just behind. He's got to be very careful.
Into 2.
Teleport coming in behind him. He's about to find a party. 3's a crowd. I don't even think Nien's going to get the assist here. And they are going to take down PewDiePie before he gets to the party. Turret going down in mid, though.
That was a 500 gold kill there for PewDiePie.
Always making it count, even if you're going down.
Yeah.
9-3. Let's watch that again, actually. Real aggressive by Afromu.
He was able to pop his ultimate, even though he took that turret shot there, though. And really, the Requiem coming in. CLG have to factor that into their calculations for these duels. Because even though you're getting a kill here, PewDiePie, at this point, came out ahead because he also got the extra flash. Just so happened he chased really deep and went 1-for-1 with Link.
It gets harder when you don't fight against champions like Karthus, Shen, Pantheon. When you're constantly thinking of that window, you have a chance to fight in, because outside of that window, things get very scary.
Nice dragon movement here from CLG. They make the first call. They're going to be able to burst it down. They have to retreat very quickly, though.
Great damage. Kiwi Kid trying to put himself in good range for a box, maybe. That is actually down, so he won't be able to ult. Big damage onto Afromu. His ult is still down, and he will go down.
Afromu does save Doublelift's life right there, though. That's why I was talking about Alistar being the bodyguard type support. He does a great job of knocking back Dignitas and allowing the rest of his team to escape there. Noble sacrifice, Afromu.
Yeah, once you get the headbutt, you're pretty much putting yourself in the hot frying pan. He knows it, though. It's 0-2-3, so he's not doing too bad. They have the Talisman of Ascension actually finished, which is great for the Alistar initiation. I don't know if it's going to be too good against the Baroned up Dig, though.
Yeah, they're not wasting any time. I love the call here because Karthus single target damage on Baron is insane, and they also have that cutie pie that we keep talking about.
Early Bird gets the worm, 18-54. Might be the earliest Baron we've seen this season.
It was definitely one of the cleanest.
Yeah.
You didn't have to see any of those Smite games. Crumb's going in. Hotshot able to get out of the way, though.
Yeah, they're just bird watching now. Nothing to see here.
He's got flash, so he could have got a little bit closer, but once he saw double lift, he knew it was too good to be true.
This is where Vayne really comes into play,
Oh,
especially
not
when you
double
don't have any champions to defend a turret. Vayne will crush it down. You can see mid being taken down now, but Dignitas is also trying to answer on the top side of the map.
4 men, and those 4 men are Baroned up here. So what they've done is call for Skara to stop the pushes here from CLG, since he can at least add some damage if the rest of the team gets caught. They're so far ahead right now that even a 4 vs 5 initiation from CLG would have its cost.
There are some scary costs because they still have to consider that Skara finished that Rabadon's already along with the Rod of Ages that is charging up, and there's not a whole lot of magic resistance on everyone. We see the Negatron Cloak coming into Link and the Athene's Unholy Grail, but that Requiem is going to hurt right now.
Yeah, there's only 3 more minutes left on that Rod of Ages for charging, so it's almost at the full power here. And Skara has been biding his time. Now he's hit a huge power spike, and their team fighting ability just went through the roof. We've already seen how they can control the objectives. Now, it's up to them to start sieging in because they've taken everything. Dragon's up, Dragon's down, Baron's down, all the outer turrets are down.
And we have seen the fiddle in the jungle. Nintendo Dex did it last season. It was a little bit more of a tank fiddle, but Crumbs has been talking about damage junglers, and that's exactly what he's building on fiddles, damage.
Yeah, going heavy damage on fiddle, looking for the surprise factor there. And the area of effect magic coupled with Karthus is going to be more than enough to get CLG into defensive maneuvers so that they won't be able to just focus him down.
I like this. Feels like a very old school Dignitas composition.
They're going back to their roots here, and they're looking to make it a 5-game winning streak. You know, they really went on a very similar path last season. Hotshot is in a very good spot. Very good spot.
That's exactly what they're looking for. That big range puts Scar down to 400 HP. The Requiem is going off, pretty much an initiation on this fight, and for good pressure on that turret. Almost combined with Cutie Pie's ultimate. That was great.
That was so much damage, though. It's going to be hard for them to defend the turret any further.
Crowstorm always got to flash in, but the damage is going to connect. Double Lift is forced to watch on the outside. There's no way a Vayne can run into this composition. It's being played so well by Dignitas. They're in the base at 21 minutes and shredding down inhibitors and the members of CLG.
Dignitas are just wrecking this game. It's only 21 minutes in, and they've taken the first inhibitor turret.
They're giving CLG a bit of their own medicine, like you said, but with the kills this time. They're being very methodical and racking up those kills along the way.
And who's the one actually getting the killing blows? None other than Cutie Pie. Once again, he's not just a Jinx player.
You gotta remember, Skara says, man, I hate it when Cutie Pie carries every game. But he's gonna start doing it a lot more. He's gotten his Jinx, didn't even have to use it this game. He gets Draven and produces like results.
He's definitely at the power spike, though. So if CLG can turtle it out to everyone having 6 items, then they'll even it out. But that was a good attempt here by CLG because Hotshot, like we said, he was in that little corner of the Fog of War. You can pull out that long-range attempt. Link just barely surviving. Everyone's so low now. You can't even stay close to the turret at this point. Hotshot
just waiting. It's almost like they started and then everybody got set and then someone shot the gun off and everybody ran off the start.
Hook on the double lift, box up, able to get him out of the fight. It causes Aframu to go in too, so really that hook and box by Kiwi Kid counts as a kill on Aframu.
And you can see that fight, you know, we were able to watch the replay because the game has slowed down for CLG. Dig knows they can take their time right now, and they're just slowly moving it in. There's no reason for them to try and push themselves into anything they can't do here, which is not a lot, actually.
It is only 23 minutes in, and the Dignitas have destroyed pretty much the entire map here. Getting the flash from Hotshot, it seems like he's a little antsy now after that last fiddle fear that got onto him. The whole team has to play really far back right now, and it's pretty much Dignitas' turn here to just roll right to the base.
Hotshot doing what he can in siege mode from the backside. Not too much ability power on him. He actually went haunting guys just after to try and get a little more penetration on these attacks from long range. Like we said, the last initiate was a good one, right onto Skara. They can do this again. It's going to be big damage. Skara stays up. The Requiem just comes up as well. Skara flashes into the fight, trying to get more AoE damage. Cruiser not really in a good spot here, but the Requiem coming down from the death of Skara and Death Defy is huge for the team. CLG is dropping. Afromu is the last member left alive, and Dignitas will get an ace with only Skara going down. The Nexus turrets in their eyes.
Just beautiful play again from Dignitas. Early lead transformed into an early game over.
And they asked, would the streak continue for Dig? They are going to be able to continue it on. 50,000 to 34,000 in the end of the game. Just under 25 minutes as they waltz around the Nexus, enjoying the victory.
Rightly deserved there. I mean, let's take a look back at how they really got to that point. The early lead, the switch that CLG tried to pull off didn't really work that much in our favor.
It got them that gold, but they didn't do anything off it huge. It did work, but it didn't end up.
And Dignitas were able to take the blue and the dragon off that. The early,
That's true.
early
Yeah.
dragon from the switch there really helped them out. Thought that was why Cutie Pie was behind in CS early, but man, the global gold right there paid off for them more than worth.
I don't know if Dig had that in mind, but like you said,
that was completely reactive.
Was
play.
reactive.
It was just because they were able to bully off the two members. It was Link and I believe Nien. Yeah, Link and Nien got 2v2'd by Cutie Pie and Kiwi. Yeah, Link insta-flashed onto Kiwi Kid early, but Kiwi Kid had a health potion, and they beat him in the 2v2 at blue, which enabled so much map control bottom for Dig. Hard to come back from that point because the globals from Karthus would come in. Anytime they tried to make a move bottom, the extra damage from Requiem even out-eclipsed the teleport from Nien.
You know, I'm going to bring it back up. In the video we saw in the bumper of Dignitas, they said in 2014, we will not disappoint. And so far, it seems like they have a changed mentality, huge smiles on the faces of every player, a new style of how to go into games, and just a different outlook on everything.
They were able to keep calm and change their game plan with what CLG presented them. I like the adaptation. You have to stay flexible in these games. And they talked about it, too, in the interviews after they won yesterday. Scar was like, yeah, we always used to get super amped up and say, yeah, guys, we can do this. Go team. But they stopped doing that because they would make these weird, over-aggressive plays and stuff, staying a bit more calm now.
Kind of get inside your own head.
Yeah, working on a lot better.
Absolutely. And we saw the Fiddle Jungle coming from Crumbs. He was just kind of bolstering up in his talks about the junglers who deal damage, junglers that can kind of come out, do a surprise hit, and get out. There, it was just the stick damage. Get in and stay in.
Exactly. And it still has the surprise factor. It's because he's popping over a wall or something, or flashing onto Hotshot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Catching him with the fear. Full damage build with mobility boots enables him to clear super fast and then get to the gank spots when his cooldowns are up. When his ultimate's ready, got to always be looking to use it.
And it's super interesting to see Dignitas kind of reverting back to their old compositions, we said. You know, we see a little Fiddlesticks. Maybe that was on Patoy last time, and it'd be Lee Sin in the jungle. But their roots is where it's at for them.
I do like Scar back on these older champions that were around, you know, when he started playing, because he's had success on things like Gragas and Karthus.
Diana.
Now. Exactly. Well, I don't know if they're going to go that far yet.
He's had success.
But
he's had success.
But the Karthus has been so successful there. I really like the change that he's been able to effect. Even with 6 mid-bans this game, he brushed it off.
Yeah. It's something that I think a lot of people should look at with the mid laners kind of being a huge focus. I think it's put a different pressure on them, and we actually didn't see too much roaming out of these last 2 games. Obviously with the Karthus pick, and that's kind of the adaptation to being like, well, if we're going to fight so hard, I need to be able to help my other lanes. Ziggs ult, Karthus ult, we've been seeing it a little bit more.
I do like the long-range mages now coming from mid. Hotshot, once again, had a rough time.
Was forced onto something else. We had 6 mid.
Well, he likes Xerath. Like, Xerath is something that he plays a lot of. So
it was nice that he could get back onto that champion. They didn't kind of have to force him into a Cassiopeia or something that was part of a strategy they were working on. That was comfort for him, which is always nice. And you see that in the gameplay, but it was just too strong. Very strong play by Dignitas coming out. And I think PewDiePie, really someone to watch and be reckoned with now. Jinx and Draven, that's scary.
I like the aggression from PewDiePie, even just after the first kill.
All right, well, to see how today's matches have rocked the league, let's check out the standings. In first place, again, Team Solo Mid with 5 wins and 1 loss.
Then in second, it's Cloud9 racking up another win to make it 4 wins. They're followed by Dignitas with their 5th straight win. And in fourth, it's Curse with 3 wins, 3 losses.
Then it is a 3-way tie for 5th with Coast, CLG, and Evil Geniuses. And in 8th place with 1 win is XDG. Now, let's take a look at some of the players who were OP at their positions this week.
All right, OP in the top lane is Balls from Cloud9. He was one of our OP laners in week 1, and this week he went back to his most picked champion of 2013, Rumble, getting first blood for his team with Meteos and having huge impact in the team fights there. He was able to win team fights, entire team fights, just with his ultimates, putting their team back on track.
Yep, moving down the list and into the jungle, turning heads is Dignitas's Crumbs. Dignitas continues their win streak with his great jungle play, and nonetheless, it's Crumbs. His Baron Steel against Curse, very important to show their victory, and he has also shown the new pick and Fiddlesticks with their win just now against CLG.
Then in mid lane, we've got Pobelter. Evil Geniuses really needed a win this week, and Pobelter helped them carry to it. He outplayed Mandatory Cloud as Gragas and broke the tie with XDG to move them up in the standings.
Absolutely.
Out of that 7th place. Yes!
One of them had it. PewDiePie is our next up in line. Had a strong week as an AD carry. His team, has joked that he sees everything as a tower and to destroy it. But it's working. He's been hard carrying with his team as Jinx, 2-0 this weekend, and has 4 straight wins on that champion.
If PewDiePie is going to be the AD carry, we got to have Kiwi Kid as the support. The other half of this Dignitas bot lane. There were a lot of questions about Kiwi Kid moving in to support, but he's definitely proven himself. After a few games, he's really had some solid Annie and Thresh play.
But there's only room on the podium for 1 MVP, and this week it goes to, once again, Team Solo Mid's Bjergsen.
I mean, Bjergsen has just continued to dominate in the mid lane, and he's gotten first blood in both games this week. He leads the North American LCS in kills with 16, and he has an overall 46 kills this split.
That's pretty crazy. The result can be seen in the standings with TSM sitting in first place with 5 wins. Now, just a reminder, the European LCS will be back Thursday, starting with Gambit versus Alliance.
Followed by number 2 Rocket versus number 1 Fnatic.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. You can catch all the action on Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central European Time. Then the North American LCS will be back next Saturday, beginning with Team Solo Mid versus XDG.
After that, Coast takes on Cloud9. The action kicks off Saturday, February 1st at noon Pacific Time, 9 p.m. Central European Time.
And remember to click over to lolesports.com. There you can find news, interviews, statistics, and any games you may have missed.
And you can also secure your spot to join our studio audience and learn the great secret of what happens during our commercial breaks.
You wouldn't believe us if we told you.
Just click on the tickets for all the details.
Now, without further ado, let's throw it over to Freak and Jat with the NA Challenger Series.
Thank you very much, Riv. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2014 North American Challenger Series, brought to you in part by our friends at Coca-Cola. I am David Freak Turley. Alongside me is Joshua Jat Leesman.
Hello.
I like that wave.
Yeah.
Good one. I don't know. I don't know why that struck me
I
as
just
odd.
counted the fingers.
You're really good with your finger movements.
So it's usually my hands.
Double finger.
Yeah, double spider.
Double spider. What happens when a squid fights a spider?
Well, I haven't done that one before.
I think the squid
It was
wins.
a wolf. Yeah.
I threw you a curveball.
Let's get to the game.
All right,
Freak.
fine. Coming up on tonight's broadcast is our second North American Challenger Series quarterfinal battle. In the blue corner, it's Mikasa and YSO Esports. And spawning in the red, it is Xiaowei Xiao and LMQ.
Yeah, and tonight's fight is a best of 3 with the winner advancing to the next round. It's going to be a very important thing. This is the round of 8. They then go to the round of 4.
It's going to be important, guys. And because it's proven that visuals help people retain information, let's take a look at the Challenger Series bracket. As you can see in the top half of the bracket, it is just like Jat said. The winner of tonight's match will face Skyline in the semifinals on Saturday, February 8th.
Yeah, and in the bottom half of the bracket, we have 2 of the 3 North American spring promotion participants right there. So you can see Determined Gaming, Curse Academy, and Cognitive.
Yeah, up against VVV White there, and that's going to be the other 2 quarterfinals that we're going to see up again next week. So, guys, it's going to be every Saturday and Sunday, NA LCS, right? Second quarterfinal here is today. Next Saturday and Sunday, next 2 quarterfinals.
Yeah.
2 weeks after that, the semi is going to be great. As always, if you didn't keep track of that, head over to lolesports.com for all the information on the Challenger Series. Just pull down the menu that's hiding under the Leagues and Tournaments tab, click on the NA Challenger Series, and you're good to go.
Absolutely.
Exactly. With that out of the way, let's get to it. The best of 3 quarterfinal battle between YSO Esports and LMQ is coming up. Now, coming into the Challenger Series, I don't know if there was a team with more hype behind them than LMQ.
Yeah, especially the fact that they are a team coming out of China. For those of you that don't know, it's a former sister squad to Royal Club, but they decided to try their hand at the North American scene, and so far they've had pretty strong results, Freak.
A very, very good team overall. And, of course, LMQ was the 2nd-seeded ranked 5 team coming into the Challenger Series. And the first 2 play-in games, they really proved that they not only deserve the seeding, but they really deserve the hype as well.
Yeah, so they absolutely decimated their 2 opponents, Team Tempest and VVV Red in their games. And everyone has impressive stats. The Team KDA is actually more than 11. The guy we're going to talk about is their mid laner, Xiao Wei Xiao. Not Wei Xiao, but Little Wei Xiao. He's been a high-level mid laner over in China for a while, and he's had 2 great games so far. He's gone a combined 12, 1-12 as Kassadin and Orianna. And while the KDA is impressive, the more amazing numbers actually is CS. He's an incredibly potent farmer. 304 in 31 minutes in Game 1. 397 in 34 minutes in the second game. It is actually 100 more than anyone else in his game.
Yeah.
And that's actually not too surprising because we know of Karthus and Frog and his minion farmers, the 300 CS at Karthus. He holds the record for that over in China. In the OPL, he got 300 CS at 23 minutes on Karthus. So that would rank him 2nd all time, just behind Frog and his 2310.
20 seconds off, but almost there. And, of course, while the stats that Xiao Wei Xiao and LMQ have amassed over their first 2 games might intimidate some teams, tonight they're going to face, of course, YSO Esports, which these guys did knock off the #1 seeded team in the bracket so far, so they're absolutely no slouches.
Yeah, and LMQ have had a couple blowouts. YSO Esports, they had a couple tight games, but that could also be because of the competition they faced against. They squeaked past the team Challenger 8 in a 55-minute game, but then when they took out Cognitive Forge, that was the upset, you know? And the player that stepped up for YSO Esports was also their mid laner, Mikasa, right there. He's gone a combined 18, 4, and 14 in 2 games. But today, we're going to see these 2 meet their match. One of them is probably not going to have a great game.
Yeah, one of them's going to have a crazy time. And I actually remember talking to one of the players that dropped to LMQ. And I was saying, hey, what's this like? Like, what was it like playing against them? And they're like, yeah, normally LMQ is a very aggressive team, and we want to try to not get behind early. Let's play the laning phase. Let's play passive.
Yeah.
And then he's like top laning, and he presses tab, and he's like, why is everyone beating us by 50 CS right now?
What
Nothing
do we do
happened.
now?
Yeah. And they just got outplayed. Like, there's incredibly potent players out here from LMQ. They are the hype team. They're the favorite here. Although yesterday, we saw the favorites drop 0-2.
And what's actually kind of interesting, and correct me if I'm wrong, since YSO Esports knocked out a higher seed, they get to pick side, or was this LMQ picking the red side?
I don't actually know if we reseed. I don't know.
I don't think we reseed.
Well, no, it's the quarterfinal. Everyone got reseeded. So LMQ, I think, comes into the bracket. I'd have to check the seeds they were given.
Yeah,
but
because I see
LMQ
LMQ as the #2 seed coming in.
Yeah. So then LMQ got the choice of side, and they chose red then. So coming in through. Bands coming by. Lee Sin, Elise dropped away by YSO Esports. Kale Thresh dropped out by LMQ.
Well, No Name had played Lee Sin and Elise in the previously 2 games so far in the Challenger bracket. So they're definitely trying to get rid of some of that early jungle pressure. I think that's fairly key considering LMQ's laning is just so damn strong that if they can at least set back the jungler a little bit, then the lanes have to win all on their own.
But what's crazy is there's been almost no mid lane bans, just 2, which I guess for what we've seen in the NA LCS tends to be on the low side. We saw 5 and 6 in the last couple of games here. And it's actually only LMQ that's banning champions away. So YSport Esports getting first dibs, and they're going to grab Ziggs here for Mikasa.
Yeah, he had a Ziggs game against Challenger 8 in that 55-minute showdown, so that was probably a pretty smart pick for him. He's going to need to have some counter push, just knowing how Xiao Wei Xiao is going to try and do as much as possible against him. Those are some very aggressive 2 first picks from LMQ, though.
Wow, so these guys want to do a whole bunch of damage. The mid lane, I'm assuming it's going to be mid lane Kha'Zix. We do see some guys jungling him.
You think?
I know
I
Link
don't
likes
know.
it.
There's definitely a little bit mix of both. No Name, at least in solo queue, played a lot of Kha'Zix, and then they're ranked 5, so that was a very, very known pick for him. Against Ziggs, Kha'Zix is a very good pick.
Yeah, that's why I read that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not. I think it's about a 50-50 at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know, like, to think about things that happened today, actually, EG, I know, picked up the Mundo and was like, this could go top, it could go mid.
It's a nice sneaky little trade, yeah.
And they could go wherever they wanted to with it. The Gragas as well, right? Could have been mid, could have been jungle. And so at least it gives them options. Vi picked up here with Renekton as well. 3 Renektons in a row, actually, for YSO Esports. Really playing the same comps.
Yeah. And this time they're going top lane with Sphinx, who is who they had against Cognitive Forge. They actually had 2 different top laners throughout the tournament. So this guy, he's the guy who plays top laner the most, and it is who they're going with.
And so you're right about it being jungle Kha'Zix, by the way. Xiao actually has been spamming the crap out of Nidalee.
What if it's jungle Mundo with mid Nidalee and top Kha'Zix?
Or top Nidalee and mid Kha'Zix? You don't
Go
even
anywhere
know.
they want. What if it's a jungle Leona who builds a Tiamat freak?
That's a possibility. Support Nidalee.
It's definitely not.
It could be Darius Maokai bottom lane.
It could be for YSO Esports because they haven't picked their bottom lane yet.
Yep. Well, you can hope, chat. Nope, those aren't the champions we were looking for.
Damn.
We were close.
Thought we had that one.
I know, it was a good prediction.
Yeah, Tick mains Lulu as far as supports go, so he's definitely more of a throwback in that sense. He's not playing the Ana Leona that everyone else is. But I think Lulu is fantastic against the heavy engaged supports. They're generally focused around burst nowadays, and Lulu prevents that straight up.
Exactly, and I know if you get really good timing, you can interrupt leaps and whatnot. It's pretty hard to get the knockup to stop like a Kha'Zix jump, but you can stop Leona's E, you can stop Kha'Zix jump. The best way to do it if you get really lucky is
they go Twitch.
They jump to the back line and you knock someone in the middle, and he doesn't even get there.
They're going Twitch.
They are going Twitch. So Twitch picked up
Twitch.
heavy damage output from the YSO Esports lineup.
Yeah.
And the Caitlyn grab here for some strong laning here from LMQ.
Twitch is like nearly suicidal against Leona.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, because he goes stealth and gets into his 550 range, and as soon as he pops up, Leona's basically just going back in on him. So if he doesn't get ahead, he is going to get completely stomped on by that LMQ bottom lane. But if he does get ahead, could be their saving grace. It's it is one of the boldest AD carry picks you can grab.
It is a fairly squishy lineup from LMQ, and that their jungler's not a tank.
They're absolutely a squishy lineup. I think they require getting quite far ahead. It is a poke comp with a combination of hard engage. They have a very weak midline. So I still feel like compositions that are like this rely on getting ahead. When they do get ahead, they're incredibly potent because they have the hard engage and the poke.
Yeah.
It's just if they fall a little bit behind, they have no mid lane control for those comeback team fights.
And that's going to be always something to consider. But with LMQ having such amazing laning, having incredible players overall, right, being sort of bred in the professional Chinese scene, which is all about crazy aggressive plays and dives, you got to realize these guys are ready for this kind of gameplay.
This could be rather fast challenger games.
It really could
I'm
be.
wondering. Yeah.
It really could.
How quickly are they going to take it off? Also, a little note for Xiao Wei Xiao. I already said it's Little Wei Xiao, which is actually what it kind of translates to because he's not Wei Xiao. But it's funny because Wei Xiao itself is small smile or like a smirk. So his name is literally Little Small Smile.
Yes.
If we translate it.
It's good. I like the name. But we are here into the game, guys. YSO Esports on the blue side starting out their builds. LMQ over in the red in the top right. And I want to see what these guys start their games out with. Of course, plenty of warding totems. That's all fine. 10 of those for these people. And more, actually, the support here of LMQ is starting with a Relic Shield, so not like the Darwin's in this one.
Yeah. It's potentially a little hazardous early on if they have a 2v2 lane and Alex the Man and Tick decide to all in them, just because he's down a little bit of health and auto attack avoidance. But overall, I think this is the highest gold generating item of the support itemization.
Yeah.
You share so much gold with that execute, and you also help push very quickly.
Yeah, you do. The tier 1's worth about 1 gold per 10 to the AD carry. That's my theory of why CLG picks it up so much with Afro moves, because it lets double lift get even bigger.
Hasn't been working too well for them.
No, unfortunately not, but we'll see what else
they were up about
do.
40 CS in lane again.
Yeah.
But then Cutie Pie had like 5 kills. Well, went wrong.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. I remember actually like the interviews with Double Lift and Afro being like, yeah, you know, we can just hard carry from the bottom lane now because sports get more gold. And that just hasn't happened for these guys. We are into this game, though.
It's actually Kiwi Kid and Cutie who are doing that.
Yeah.
Turning it around, so it's possible.
It is, just for the team that's winning. Xiao Wei Xiao, a lot of Nidalee play actually have been spamming that a whole bunch in ranked 5s by the end of the season. If you actually check out their team, their whole match history is all victories, as far back as you can go on their ranked 5s team. So they've just been spamming games and just chilling there. Funny note on that actually is the Cloud9 EU team, Eclipse, actually disbanded their team after they qualified so that you couldn't look at their match histories.
To stop them from being able to scout.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Most of the rest of the teams left their teams up.
What about the border?
Well, I think it was already in by that point.
Yeah, you're right. So they just lose the. They lose
The
really
basic
nothing.
seeding if they want to
Someone
re-qualify.
could someone technically steal their name?
Maybe. It was Apples is Sour, though.
Or is there
I
a
think they already
cooldown?
made Cloud9 Eclipse at that point.
All right.
Apples is Sour no longer exists in the EU ladder, but whatever.
So, all right. I feel like LMQ probably should have done that then. Or they're so confident.
I think they are.
I think they're just confident.
They streamed all their games.
Wow.
They sat there streaming. It was like, yeah, we're going to beat everyone. Come watch us be awesome. And that worked pretty well for them. I mean, honestly, they're here. They're doing a very good job. Let's see what these guys end up
Nothing but
panning out.
domination so far.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. So, landing has begun for these guys, 2.5 minutes in. Looks like you were right that YSO Esports did push early on. First wave did reach the turret, but looks like we're kind of resetting back here. And I want to see how this lane does pan out, because I feel like, to me, Leona Caitlyn isn't the best synergy lane. Because
It's not.
Caitlyn
Yeah.
doesn't
right.
all in as hard.
It's not exactly a kill lane, but I think they're basically picking the synergy for later. They want Nidalee to synergize with Caitlyn outside of turrets when they're sieging, and they want Leona to synergize with Kha'Zix once they land some poke and they want to go in. In the lane, I think the Leona is mainly for the gank support and is going to play passive while Caitlyn farms and just be there when ganks come. Or if Caitlyn gets enough harass down, like for instance if that Piltover Peacemaker would have hit, you might have seen Leona go in. It really, I think, is heavily dependent on the performance of Yasili on Caitlyn, and then Moore can do something on Leona.
Do something more, maybe.
Do some more.
Yes.
That doesn't work.
What do you mean?
Because
If you can do some more.
I could say he could do something. Maybe if he got a kill, we'd be like, maybe he can do more in that lane to help him out.
Okay.
Then it would work.
Fine. Whatever. I don't agree with you, but it's okay. I'll drop this one for now. Top lane, the jump is coming in here. No Name waiting around. Sees he's going to jump away. Ooh, he dodges the leap right there, so not much slow. Tick taking a bunch of pain under the turret, down to 300 health. Puts them back on a case of Vasily, a little injured as well here.
Yeah, that's a little dangerous. I also like how in bottom lane, all the supports have kind of just started taking Ignite again. There was a long period of exhaust. And there's the flash. He gets him.
Tick flashes to pull him all the way back.
Dead.
This is going to be a very much dead Lulu.
Don't walk to the 80 carry.
Oh, he gave first one to 80 carry, but it baited him in. Can Alex the Man do enough damage? There's barrier, and I believe he expunged too early. Alex the Man now stunned up and likely to die. Pops barrier again, puts the W down to slow. One more auto attack, maybe two. Nope. Moore picks up the kill. 2-0 bottom lane.
So much action.
And there's more happening. Mikasa not in a good spot. And goodbye. Wei Zhao says, my house. Mikasa goes down.
Oh dear. So we knew LMQ was a strong early game team, and that just was all of the strength at once. Because, like we said, once someone gets low in that YSO Esports lane, which happened because Lulu over tower dived, it was pretty much Leona going in solo and going to finish off the Lulu. At that point, I think there was just some panic in YSO Esports. First off, Lulu just going into Caitlyn, trying to bait a kill and failing, gives the first blood to Caitlyn. That was a fat chunk of 400 gold.
Oh, yeah.
And then Twitch overstayed as well, not only burning both summoners, but also giving up another kill.
And so LMQ, by the time they recall, have built up a gold lead. Targon's Brace now picked up, plus a Ruby Crystal, whole bunch of cash money on the LMQ bottom lane. And that's just looking happy for these guys. LG Hunter looking maybe for something top lane, but Ackerman's like full health right here. I don't know if this Vi gank's going to be nearly as successful.
Yeah, he was just kind of planning his gank, I think, before the game happened. They're going to try a hard tower dive.
Well, they're doing a whole bunch of
Beauty.
damage. That actually worked amazingly. Sync stays alive with like 40 health, but minions might switch targets. Okay, he'll live with 0 health.
Also, for those of you who are watching Challenger for the first time but checked out World Championships last year, Ackerman in the top lane is godlike from Royal. So,
Yeah.
Or was it? Yeah, Royal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Royal Club Huangzhou. The other one is Royal Club Tianxi, which is the rest of these guys here. The other 4 were all on that roster, which was another team in the LPL. And they cut part of it out, moved them over here. That's pretty much the entire roster history.
But that last gank was incredibly impressive. Let's see if this Cats can finish off a no flash 6.
Well, Mikasa is going to put this out of charge.
One
Jumps
spear.
away. Ooh! Javelin does not quite land. So he's alive for now, but a level 6 Nidalee is scary.
Yeah, while we have a minute, I just want to say how impressive that top lane gank was. Because Vi was sitting on top of a ward, and Ackerman did not think there was a way that that gank would work. But this Kha'Zix has been everywhere, so can't explain things here.
Okay, passive slow should land. Tick gonna take some damage, but LG Hunter is here. The slow, and there's no leap for No Name. He does not have flash either. That champion could be chased down, but Moore just body blocking everything. Soaks up the damage and says, I will protect you, and does so.
Yeah, G Hunter was there for a strong counter gank, and it made the LMQ bot lane have to play a little bit of defense. When all said and done, though, no harm done. The junglers didn't farm. Lifesteal and stuff, everything's fine.
And both junglers going Elder Lizard for their builds. An early longsword picked up by LG Hunter.
Damage time.
It's damage time for these guys, hitting them with their
punch
punches.
things and eat things.
Yes, and claw them to death. See what happens. Mikasa at level 6. Alright, he's happy. Alright.
So
blue buff soon.
This is a bit of an aside, but it's on the topic of Spirit of the Elder Lizard. I really think junglers are going to be tracking more towards damage. It just hasn't happened in competitive yet, because if we watch any high elo solo queue game, I'm seeing most junglers actually go Spirit of the Elder Lizard, and just kind of crush the game. You see that with Kha'Zix, Hecarim, Wukong, Vi. I think the change to allow percentage health and mana return on damage to jungle monsters really just enables these junglers to build more damage and then really succeed, because they're staying full health in the jungle and they're doing more damage and allows them to farm faster. Just everything works together. Whereas even though sure you can farm faster with the tank spirits now too, you don't have the damage to clear as quickly. I think it enables so many more carry junglers, and only because competitive play is kind of like so set in their ways with the way the jungler plays support to the lanes. It's going to take a little longer for that, but this is definitely one of those trends I think is going to go from solo queue where it is right now into challenger where it's approaching, and then eventually make it into pro play.
And sort of anecdotally, I agree with you. I've seen evidence to the same. Like, you look at the main example is Meteos in the end of Season 3, where he was like, yeah, I just copied a player from solo queue who taxed every lane and took all the farm, and then out of nowhere became the best jungler in NA. Because he was like, oh, I saw this in solo queue, it's really good. The champion picks we've been seeing, when Xerath sprung in the middle of the spring split in NA, the Teemo mid lane we saw, Cloud9, the only team to even beat TSM so far in the spring, like, it's like, oh, I saw this guy do it in solo queue, this is really good. Just like we keep seeing this work.
Yeah. Also, LMQ, they're this really great team in Rank 5's queue. And now they're destroying in Challenger, too. 3-1. Look at that.
Guys are pretty freaking great. Here we go. Ackerman just last hitting under turret. And actually, interestingly, with the, despite the sort of gank and dying and whatnot, he's only down 3 minions against a Renekton, a renowned lane bully. So I gotta say, even in like the losing lane, it's not too
here
bad.
Here it comes bottom, right into a Vi.
Okay, more is 6. Who are they going to find? Anyone? Alex the Man gonna not take any damage. LG Hunter getting jumped on is level 6 though, but taking so much burst goes down without even getting to ultimate. That is a happy thing for LMQ and a sad one for YSO Esports.
That was really good play by Moore, I have to say. There was only one member in that lane that before the game didn't have flash, and that's exactly who Moore decided to target. You wouldn't think that they would go for Vi because it's the most farmed member, or probably the hardest one you think to kill, but they had all the cooldowns in their head. Knew Leona would result in a kill on Vi, and because they took out the jungler, they can now get Dragon.
And look at this, Ackerman taking it up pretty happily. The jungler moving top, interestingly enough. Neither team running a jungler down here. It's No Name. Ooh, that was actually nearly a steal. Nice try by Tick.
Yeah.
But they actually knew that No Name was holding top.
Look at how aggressive he is posturing right now.
Well, Alex the Man trying to find a little jump in right here, but not much mana on Lulu. Not going to be helpful. They jump in onto Vasilio. Do they have the damage? Barrier pop by both these guys. She does not yet go down. Tick's still trying. Ignite is on. One more attack would do it, but they can't reach it. A flash over the wall before LG Hunter could ult in to help that one. The Twitch is around, but doesn't matter. Another kill picked up. LMQ, huge lead, 6-1.
Every step of the way, LMQ is just outplaying YSO Esports. That was a brilliant bait right there by Asili on Caitlyn right at the end to finish off that kill. Moore is fearless on Caitlyn, but is not getting punished for it. On Leona, but is not getting punished for it. As we said, if that Twitch starts falling behind, the stealth popping out is a death sentence, and that's exactly what happened there. As soon as he popped out of stealth, Leona Zenith bladed, went in for the kill.
Yeah, he had to just run the heck away and left his support out to cry and die on her own. Alex the Man still trying to farm up though. Holding up in minions. Well, actually, I say that without the Targon's Brace sort of being there, but
it looks better.
Yeah, it looks closer than it is, but it's actually pretty horrific. You're seeing a Bloodthirster almost done for Vasily, whereas just barely a Cutlass now for Alex the Man's Twitch. He's 1,000 gold away from having Blade of the Ruin King without even getting boots, whereas Vasily's got Zerker Greaves and almost enough for the combined.
Yeah, and take a look at the mid lane as well. Xiao is getting fairly far ahead on Italy. So this team composition we see with 2 pokers is reaching the mid game in a very strong state right now. Kha'Zix, despite not having tremendous farm in the jungle, has been able to apply a lot of map pressure. He is hoping to sneak in around the back of Mikasa, but he's going to have to take his sweet time on that one.
Yeah, Xiao just kind of lessening under the turf now, not really applying any pressure. Top lane fight coming on right here. Ackerman popping the ulti. I'm just gonna get his health back up and actually push Sphinx out. I don't think he can go for the kill right here.
You gotta be
Sphinx,
careful here.
He's gonna ult as well. Ackerman's ult about to run out, but Sphinx just can't find the rest of the damage here. Has a level lead actually from Ackerman having to leave earlier. There's also a different item build, Tiamat versus Sunfire Cape.
Yeah.
But Mundo got the better of that whole deal.
Yeah, Renekton's trying to go for the damage build. He wants to try and transition his lead into the mid-game team fights and really deal a lot of damage as Renekton. But if he can't get Ackerman out of lane, he's not going to be able to do that.
That's going to be a difficult situation because Mundo's been regenning and has a Sunfire Cape. We're still tracking Twitch. Holding up so far, I guess. He's not like getting shoved out of lane without jungle help, so the lane's not over, just in a rough spot. And YSO Esports, they've got to figure out what they're going to do to transition out of this laning phase, because laning clearly isn't working for these guys. They're losing dragons, they're losing CS overall. Something else needs to go on for these guys. And
Normally,
I'm
I'd say
sure what their plan is.
Normally, I'd say they should start trying to force dragon fights because they do have the Renekton in the mid game, and Ziggs lives for dragon fights with his AoE damage. But I can't say that because LMQ already took the dragon. That's just really good timing by LMQ throughout this. Sphinx could potentially roam down and start shoving mid lane because there's not very good wave clear on the side of Nidalee, and they might be able to force a turret. But that's really the only option I see them doing, and that in itself is a risk because the only person that theoretically has a lead on their team right now is Sphinx. And if he goes to roam and nothing happens, he would lose it.
Oh man, that's just a tough thing to kind of, damned if you do, damned if you don't. You hope it works out though if you go for this one. Let's see, blue buff not quite going to get stolen, so Mikasa going to at least have mana to spend in this lane. Is still kind of nurturing a minion kill deficit against Nidalee, who's just had a better time of this one. The early kill, of course, helping that quite a bunch.
That guy knows how to farm, that's for sure.
Yeah, he really does. And what I like seeing actually, we saw this last time we looked at mid about 2 minutes ago, he kind of stayed in Cougar form, and after killing the minions, jumped forward and pushed Mikasa around and said, you know you can't fight me, I do a whole bunch of base damage. And while farming very well, has also been putting pressure on the lane.
They're trying to do a pretty brute force invade right here. They have wards inside the red buff, and if Leona and Caitlyn can peel over to the red buff, they would be able to get a successful steal. But it's all about balancing the pushing of the bottom lane with the stealing of the red buff. A little bit of mind games going on here.
Oh, Mikasa got it. Nice job with the ducky. It looks like, yeah, these guys are still waiting around. Wards in these brushes. These guys know if the red buff gets started. Neither team has yet. And then refreshes the ward. Smart choice there. And he aggroes it, so he's going to go for this.
It's very difficult for YSO Esports to not lose something here, because if they secure the red buff, they start losing lanes. If they get the cleanest of catches, though, they can do something. He jumps pretty far back, though.
They're going to try lot burned right there. That is maybe a kill. Is very slow. Whoop. And that's going to be Tick picking it up. There's more locking up YG Hunter, but I don't know if that's the best choice. Looks like he'll get out with his tankiness. Nidalee now kind of in the middle of the enemy team. Dragging up in a minute. That's not going to matter just yet. Top laners keep trading blows.
Yeah, LMQ did not collapse correctly on YSO Esports right there because the Vi ult was at the right time, and Sphinx goes all in on Ackerman.
Ooh, forced to jump away. Does he get it? One more attack. Oh, no. And Mundo, if he lands a cleaver, that was close. That would have been a kill if he didn't Q those minions right here. This is dangerous. Oh!
Right past the small one. Ackerman taking all the chances and coming out on top. We saw something like that in a previous round when he got away with a sliver of health.
Yeah. He just does not barely die.
He does not. So he does. No, hold on.
He barely.
There's a way. He's really good at almost dying.
He's really good at almost dying.
Yeah.
But making something good happen because of it. There we go. Making that one happen. Mid lane gonna have a recall right here. No name dying, but it's okay. He's gonna come back into this one. Hold the mid lane. And these guys have already set up for Dragon again. These LMQ very much on the ball, leaving Mundo to split push top. Has the teleport anyway. And LMQ are just on the ball. They're taking every objective. You said that YSO Esports would want a dragon fight as their best chance of doing something. They're not allowed to grab dragon fights because there's nothing to fight over.
I think that was pretty good red buff timing as well by LMQ when they went in for it. Just because if they get pushed off of it, YSO Esports is going to use almost all their ultimates. I don't know if they were thinking this far ahead, but if they were, it would have been clever. You force a fight by the other team like a minute and a half before Dragon, and you're just planning on running away and farming. That way when the Dragon does come up, they can't contest it. It's kind of a different strategy than what we used to do on Dignitas, where in the bottom lane, we would just use ultimates to get a team low and then take Dragon while they were backing. In this case, LMQ took a fight way before Dragon so that the other team would be backing when it respawned.
Nice. And that's kind of what happened here to a certain extent. Why is Esports not prepared for this one? Here we go. Xiao looking for a little bit of damage. Mikasa running back. No Name is here to dive, but LG Hunter says, no, don't you dare. Get away from my mid laner. Keeps him safe for now. But the lanes are just kind of getting worse and worse. The top lane, the only one that's actually working. Why is Esports honestly holding that lane up, but the rest of the map is getting harsher.
Oh, he missed a CS.
That
Terrible. 195. I was just going to comment 195 CS on Italy at 17 minutes is
pretty good.
Very high. I feel like I'm not used to seeing a number that high.
For a champion like that.
Yeah, exactly. In Italy, no one missed a couple.
We don't just see this very often, though. It's part of it as well, I suppose. Teleport into the mid lane from Dr. Mundo. Ackerman is going to cancel that, actually. Doesn't want to go for it after all. Would have been outnumbered. Probably not 1v3ing the best option. And the mid lane turret siege actually beginning. They're leaving this Caitlyn to push the bottom lane, though. So a bunch of gold going to waste in turret pressure down to the bottom side.
See how fearless Leona is right now. Pretty fearless.
Jumps on in. Alex Man down to half HP, pops stealth, and the team disengages. Caitlyn's still getting free damage on bottom.
So they stunned just so Nidalee could land the max range spear, and that was enough to push them back. It allows them pressure on the bottom lane turret, and all the advantages keep going LMQ's way.
This is beautiful stuff. LMQ doing a whole bunch of great things. This turret's going to be going down before YSO Esports AD carry can even show up. 2 turrets to 1. Make this maybe 2 to 2. YSO Esports happy to push this mid lane still, and they're going to be okay with this one.
Leona coming in, I think ultimate.
Ulti on Mikasa is going to try to jump away, but Leona's still jumping in. Oh, great ulti stops the no-name leap. That's going to let Mikasa get out safely. Xiao still looking for the aggression. Alex the Man trying to get away from Vasily. Pink ward goes down. Has to flash the wall. Ooh.
No, wrong way. He tried both directions, but
couldn't see it, couldn't R in time.
Nice try, he cut him off. All credit to G Hunter, the savior of everyone, right there with his ultimate on Assault and Battery. Yeah. Unfortunately, his team is still down 2 kills to 7, but credit where credit is due, that was a nice fight out.
And the mid turret didn't even quite go down either. A lot of summoners lost by these guys. This thing's getting pushed around now by Ackerman. Looks like Renekton's time to be awesome is kind of ended here, which is too bad for YSO Esports. Those briefcases hurt pretty freaking hard.
Yeah, Ackerman doing some nice work on Sphinx. You can see he's going for the offensive Renekton build too, which is why they seem to hit him a little harder. He can life steal up pretty well with that Ravenous Hydra. He's using the Ravenous Hydra trick. We actually might see a big fight here. I'll talk about it after.
Whole bunch of pain coming across. Ignite used to stop the Mundo regen. Is there going to be another stun from Sphinx? Yes, he finds one. One more attack, picks it up. That's working pretty nicely. I take it back. Top lane still good for YSO Esports.
Got him this time. Ackerman had been really good at almost dying. That time he was
actually dying.
Yeah. So that wasn't good. But anyway, the Ravenous Hydra trick on Renekton is, I think we talked about this last week as well.
Yeah.
But it's still awesome.
It is.
Renekton has a very slow attack animation on his W. But it's more so that after he lands it, he gets locked out for about half a second. Because Ravenous Hydra is an instant, like, AoE auto attack, just like a mini one, if you use that right after you stun someone with W, it breaks your animation lock.
Yeah.
And you can then start auto attacking again. So you spike through substantially more damage with Ravenous Hydra. I think some people think that when Renekton buys a Hydra, it's just like, oh, it's a nice AoE wave clear damage because Hydra is good on melees, which is all true, but it's even better on Renekton because of that fact.
Yeah. Oh, because in a bad spot. Please don't. Okay. That was actually kind of a weird javelin. That was a little bit far of a lead right there. But.
Yeah.
Okay, another one misses. Good.
Everybody misses.
Yeah.
You miss all the spears you don't throw. Hotshot GG.
Yes.
Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky.
There we go. Yeah. Not Michael Jordan, by the way.
No, it's both of them. We went over this.
I mean,
we were both right.
I was more right. But, oh, I like that combo right there. The submarine in a weird way. Jumping in. Caitlyn goes down this fight. Pretty interesting. Sphinx taking one of the shots. Goodbye to more. And now the chase coming in. Can they get a stun on anyone else? Not quite. Mundo still in the background. YSO Esports, Tick not in the best spot. Ackerman has flash. Does not need to use it to get away. 5v3 still in this mid lane.
Yeah, I think LMQ got caught with their pants down a little bit there. They were underestimating YSO Esports there, and they were way too confident in the turret despite being outnumbered. And then they got initiated on extremely hardly there by YSO Esports. Good initiation by Vi, especially the Zigzalt. Crushed LMQ right there. And it's kind of that mid-game team fight they want to force. Got it back farther away against an Italy.
Yeah, that was not ideal. That's the second one we've seen like this now, where it's like you probably should have been behind a minion, and then you took a bunch of damage there. Xiao taking some damage. Ackerman around there as well. Alex the Man, I feel like I'm afraid for your life, because things like that are going to happen. Mid lane turret probably going to go down here. Yes, YSO Esports will back off of this one. LMQ, yeah, they get overconfident, and some of them die, but they still make the right move afterwards.
Yeah, they were able to get a turret afterward. I still don't think it was the right move to get caught in the mid
Well,
lane.
no.
But they
But
make the
afterwards.
best of bad situations, just like being really good at almost dying. It ends up baiting. Plays like this come from taking a lot of risks frequently. Teams just get very good at getting themselves out of bad situations. It's a thing that Reginald used to do in North American solo queue when he was a pro player. He was actually fairly low rated because he just played so recklessly and sometimes badly. But in pro play, if he got put in bad situations, he knew how to get out of them.
And here we go. A lot of CC coming across LG Hunter in a really bad spot. Gonna go in with the Lulu ulti, and the damage comes across No Name. They're gonna trade kills on the junglers. That is a dead dragon, though, to LMQ's side. 1-for-1 kills. Mikasa forced to run away. LMQ a little bit low on mana, but they're still going to put the chase on. Another javelin comes across, hits Sphinx. That's a fairly squishy frontliner here, slow on the tick as well. The chase is on towards Lulu. Another javelin lands as well. LMQ still on the chase. Xiao might find one more.
Trying to weave it through.
He's going to be okay. Ugh, that was a little bit painful, and they're still chasing Renekton. Pops the CC, and
Twitch!
there comes Twitch. Can he get the damage he needs? Not quite. It's going to be a dead Renekton, and now Twitch has nowhere to go. This is not a good thing. Shields come across. I don't think he's going to live through this one. He is not going
They're
to.
kind of trapped right now, I feel like.
I feel like Xiao's going to kill them all right there, but misses the javelin. The jump going in. Mikasa likely to go down and does make that a very delayed ace right here. LMQ picking up everybody for one.
So delayed. LG Hunters back in the action right now. Cannot defend the turret, though, and that was just everyone knowing what to do when they're at low health. They cornered YSO Esports in a really weird spot, considering that fight started at Dragon. But impressive nonetheless. 13 kills to 6. The farm has slowed down for Xiao because he's been fighting so much.
He's farming peeps, not creeps.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
A friend of mine used to say that a bunch, so I still had it for a while.
Yeah. So like 3 years.
Like 6 months.
All right.
Whatever.
So a friend of yours from like 6 months ago, are you no longer close?
Pretty much, yeah.
He's going to be watching this and be like, that bastard, he stole my land.
I shouldn't even give any credit out. I invented it. It was mine just now. We're good. Okay. So, Twitch having a rough game. Lulu having an even rougher game. I do want to point out that Sphinx gets to say he won his lane against someone who got top 2 at a world championship.
It's true. I think he did fantastic against Ackerman. Aside from the one moment where Ackerman killed him with a couple cleavers.
Yeah.
Everything else has been solid. His Hydra build has actually paid off in lane. It doesn't transition spectacularly into the game, but that's just Renekton in general. He's great up until about 25 minutes or 30 minutes, and if you haven't won by then, you better hope someone else on your team is doing well.
And no,
not yet, actually. Yeah, it's trouble.
It's unfortunate here. We're going to see if they can do something to turn this one around. A locket has been picked up by LG Hunter, so Vi will be giving some shields to her team, which is nice. But YSO Esports pretty much in damage control. LMQ looking for ways to probably start controlling this game. I feel like, I guess they would siege more than go for Baron, but like, if they weren't a siege team, this is when you start setting up Baron fights.
So what's interesting, actually, is they can zone out Baron with Leona and maybe a Nidalee, and then can two-man it fairly easily with Kha'Zix and Mundo. Mundo can tank, Kha'Zix can do a bunch of damage if he evolves his Q, which I believe he has.
I know he started with E.
Yeah, that's Q was his second evolution.
Yeah. Okay, and interestingly, I guess this makes sense actually, but I haven't seen it very much. He did max leap second. I usually see leap left at a one-pointer, but that was back when he was popular.
Yeah, that was back when he maxed
maxed
the W.
first.
And people haven't really jumped around to E. E does some pretty respectable damage.
Yeah, you figure you're getting the reset with it in the first place.
Yeah.
Might as well have it hit harder.
I like that. It also lowers the cooldown if you're not getting resets. And it's not even about zoning out Baron, it's just they're killing it so damn fast. And YSO Esports is so scared of him. This is a nice call.
Yeah, and at this point they know about this. Like, Nidalee runs around to throw javelins in Vision of Wards. It just does not matter. YSO Esports, a lot of damage. He might. Oh my god, that was close. 80 health after shielding. Good job.
That would have been so awesome if it would have finished her off, but no Lulu ult was used. The synergy was really cool. Ace in the hole to a spear.
Yeah.
Full, like, these are the 3 most threatening items on Nidalee, and he has them at 26 minutes plus a Baron buff. So, Xiao, in absolute terror if any one of those spears land. As you can see, 2 spears will be a kill on 3/5 of their team.
And of course, with the blue buff winning around on the right-hand side, throwing with no minions anywhere nearby. Oh, okay. Twitch, be careful.
Yeah, Alex is not the man when he gets hit by a spear.
No. It's a rat.
Mikasa is not nearly as powerful as when she's a character in Attack on Titan.
True.
Ackerman is just as tactful, though. So, all credit to him.
Ironic that one of them's doing so much better than the other.
Yeah, because they're usually on a team together.
Well, they're normally the same person.
I got them mixed up again. I was thinking of different characters.
It's fine. Here we go. The knockup begins, and he's still invisible. Alex jumping into this one. Can they get the fight they need? Lots of knockups coming across, but not enough damage. Ackerman on the front line. Sting's trying to fight the back line by himself, but now isolated. Gonna go down thanks to Kha'Zix getting a double kill. The jungler dealing damage, working out nicely. The chase still coming through. Javelin not going to land here. Alex the Man, though, is one Javelin from dead. Is it this one? It doesn't be that one.
But I think they're going to try and end this game very quickly. They're just brute forcing through. They still have tons of Baron buff time left. They're still eating people. There's 3 dead, inhibitor down, everybody live for LMQ. Let's see if they can end free.
Well, here we go. 27:45 in. First Nexus turret taking some damage right there. That's going to drop in about 8 seconds total. 2 versus 5 now. Try to take the base and keep it alive. Still the spam coming out from Mikasa. Alex the Man drops low, does not go down. Flash forced away from the Kha'Zix. LMQ stops with inhibitor and 1 Nexus turret.
Yeah, a couple more of those kills, I think they would have ended it. But this game is all but secured. You just look at how easily they're able to push in there. The fact they got down 1 Nexus turret, the fact that they still have about 1 minute and 40 seconds on this Baron buff means they can actually shop. They need to clear waves anyway. Probably just push straight up the mid or the bottom lane and try and end.
And we'll see what they do with this one. Sweeping out the minions in the other lanes. Why the heck not? Free gold. I mean, you're about to not be at 10 minions a minute. Come on, Xiao Wei Xiao.
300. 28.33. Let's track that. I'm writing that down.
All right, let's do it.
28.33. I brought a pen and paper this time because we were doing calculations the other day and we couldn't write them down. I got really sad. We're ranking champions from 1 to 10 on their late game power.
And mental addition is hard in single-digit numbers.
Well, especially when you're like jumping all around.
There's 10 of them,
without trying to write things down. Like if I just said like what's 8 plus 7 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. But
25.
But I said that over a long period of time.
Yeah, okay. Here we go.
You're right, it is 25.
Yeah, 3 plus 3 plus 4 is 10.
But
so
who can't remember 5 numbers in a row? I feel like most people can remember 7 back when people used to remember phone numbers.
I had a friend of mine who, in class, someone gave him like 2 6-digit numbers and said multiply them. And so we just spit out a random gigantic number and it ended up being right.
No.
Yeah, it was like, or it was like a 5 or 6 digit number. He's like, yeah, what's 74,312 times 2,454? And he was like, 27 million something. And I was like, yeah.
Really?
I mean, he swears it was true. He's telling me the story. I wasn't there for it.
Okay, I don't believe
So you might be a liar.
I feel like that man is a liar. You're rather gullible for stories like that, I feel like. Oh my god, that spear. Like we said, he's trying to just crush this lane right now. Oh, Alex the Man goes down.
Well, 2 javelins. That's going to be a Nexus.
Yeah.
An inhibitor turret at the very least. Likely to be a Nexus. Getting ahead of myself with this one. The push coming through. Inhibitor going to fall down. Super minions already in the base. 2 of them here. This is going to be all kinds of painful if they can find it. Here we go. 4v5. Initiation comes in and more onto the turret right here. The dive coming through. It's going to be the jump in from Kha'Zix. Who's going to fall down first? It will be the Lulu. More dodging turret aggro. The knockup there on the no-name. LG Hunter just drops down anyway. Doesn't matter too much for this one. 3 members now dead for YSO Esports. Mikasa spams out some water balloons. That's not going to matter. Briefcase comes in. That's going to be the Nexus going down. LMQ in 30 minutes and 24 seconds. Taking the 1-0.
I can't believe Leona didn't die at the end there. That was a quick game, kind of like we expected. LMQ was incredibly hyped coming into this, even though YSO Esports did take down a top seed. Not very known players.
No.
So I'd have to say their top laner in the first game, Sphinx, did pretty well holding on to his own.
Yeah.
But the rest of the team got baited in multiple situations.
They did. I actually didn't see the setup for the first death that Ziggs had in mid. I just know he was running into the enemy jungle.
I believe he just got ganked from like behind the path in the river, and then he just tried to retreat in that direction because it was his best chance of living.
Yeah, and I've seen teams will like put pink wards down and like their friendly like Wraith brush, the one near river. Not Wraith. Lizard brush towards river on the other side. Put a pink ward there. Doesn't usually get swept and watches that gank route.
Yes.
And those defensive pink wards seem to be the popular ones. That would have helped him.
It was pretty early in the game.
It was, but I don't know. Like you're right. Like at 6 minutes, you don't typically have one, but that kind of stuff would kind of keep them alive.
I'd say next game that's a good place for a ward though.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, just because of how many ganks Kha'Zix was trying to pull off in the mid game, he was really all over the map.
He went especially mid a lot, I felt. That seemed like his most common.
He was mid bot. He was kind of living in YSO Esports jungler as far as I could tell.
Yeah.
And they were never able to get him out of there.
Yeah. So, of course, very well played by No Name, doing a good job there, keeping his lanes in a pretty good spot overall, and ended up cleaning up kills really nicely. The damage junglers we were talking about.
Yeah, man, LMQ, very impressive game so far.
Very impressive.
They have some nice plays coming through.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they can do in Game 2. Guys, we're going to take a quick break and give you guys a commercial for fun. When we reconnect, it's time for Game 2. Xiao Xiao and LMQ look for the sweep and a spot in the semifinals up against Skyline. Don't go anywhere. The 2014 North American Challenger Series will be right back.